Welcome to our show today, man, who has co-written really a fascinating book as we are right in the 10th anniversary of 9/11, a really timely topic. It's called Top Secret America, The Rise of the New American Security State. We're joined by Washington Post columnist William Arkin today. How are you, welcome, William?
How are you today?
I'm doing great. I had a chance to read through the book over the weekend, and really fascinating to read about this. It must have been kind of interesting for you to kind of put this together. I know this was kind of based a bit on a lot of the articles that you wrote for the newspaper, Washington Post, but you kind of had a chance to flesh it out a little bit, didn't you, in the book?
Oh, we did. Dana and I have been working on this subject for 3 years or so, but, both of us are veteran national security reporters, and we just thought that we were observing something going on in Washington that no one really had a name for and really didn't quite understand, and this post-9/11 growth, we tried to just scope it out and try to figure out how large it was and how influential, and when we were done, frankly, we were stunned at the degree to which the government had grown since 9/11, and then, of course, a decade later, how it had not shrunk back as a result of any of the events that had occurred in the decade.
You always hear the term top secret, from TV shows or movies, and you wonder how many people actually, know that information if it's top secret. But according to your research, over 850,000 people have that security clearance nowadays. Is that accurate? That's amazing.
It is amazing. 854,000 was our final calculation. That's almost 1 million Americans, more than the population of the District of Columbia. It's actually not the largest number ever because the military and the national security establishment during the Cold War was 5 times larger than it is today. But in terms of the number of people who have top secret clearances pre-9/11, post 9/11, it's been enormous growth, and the most significant part of it has been the number of private contractors who have been granted top secret clearances. Almost a third of that total number are people who work for private companies, and that's really one of the most significant post 9/11 phenomena.
And what exactly does top secret mean? I know there's different levels of security clearance. What exactly does that mean? Is that the most dangerous secret you could know, that if it got out it would be harmful, or what does it mean?
Well, all of these classifications are defined by executive orders, pretty long-standing, going back to the Truman administration. Top secret is supposed to be the highest level. It means that if information that's classified top secret were to be divulged, it would cause exceptionally grave damage to the national security. But what's happened since 9/11 is there's been such an inflation and also a change in the nature of the military. We're no longer an industrial military. The military today and the national security establishment is an information force, and so because it depends and works so much with information and with intelligence, that's also meant that there's been a greater need for top secret. And so on the one hand, it's of course protected and kept away from the public eye, and unfortunately also kept away from the congressional eye. But on the other hand, it's a sort of old-fashioned designation, because unlike in the olden days when only a few things were classified top secret, things dealing with nuclear defenses or codes, today almost everything is, and so that's led to a kind of inflation also of the notion that the compromise of that information would lead to exceptionally grave damage.
And if everything is top secret, then really nothing is, right?
Well, and there you go. And so, sometimes I have to ask myself, and I did many times during this investigation, we would go to a building somewhere to investigate a new organization that had been established since 9/11, and, the agency, either the Department of Homeland Security or the Defense Department, would say, this is an undisclosed location. And we'd say, but we're here. We're standing in front of it. Everyone knows it's here. The neighbors know it's here. What's the authority by which you make it this? And the answer never was satisfactory. And that's part of the problem, is that each agency determines what's top secret, some of it just by habit, everything dealing with eavesdropping, everything dealing with submarines, everything dealing with cruise missiles, everything dealing with special operations. And that has the unfortunate impact, I think, of putting it way out of reach of most Americans in terms of understanding where our tax dollars are going.
And you also talk about it in the book, William. I mean, there's so many agencies, and none of them want to talk to each other. We've seen that problem on many levels of government. If they're not talking to each other, you have a lot of duplication and perhaps missions that may be more dangerous because of that, right?
Well, there's two effects. I mean, one is you see events like the underwear bomber from Christmas of 2008,
right.
and in which case it was just, 9/11 all over again. They had the information, but they just didn't pass it on to the people who needed to know it. And you have the other impact of competing organizations all trying to do the same thing. So you have, for instance, one of the largest new bureaucracies which has been created since 9/11, the Department of Homeland Security, now the third largest federal department, and it has so many missions which overlap with the FBI, with the military, with the intelligence community. They're almost out there looking for things to do, and yet at the same time, when there's a hurricane or there's a flood, we all expect that the Department of Homeland Security is going to be there to help. And we find out again and again and again that because they're focused on national security, they've let their homeland security responsibilities flounder.
And do people still pay attention to the alert color system? I don't think people do, but I guess we're kind of stuck in one level, right?
Well, I think we're like on permanent orange now, aren't we?
I think so.
and that in itself sort of also gives you a sense of I guess, permanent establishment. I mean, these are not just organizations which were created to fight the war in Afghanistan and Iraq and now are going to be eliminated. Government's not very good at that. And, so what we have are permanent new organizations which are being created. And if they're going to justify being permanent, if they're going to justify having 100,000 square foot new buildings, if they're going to justify the kinds of multi-billion-dollar budgets they have, then one of the things they're going to have to do is make sure that the public believes that there is a permanent threat.
Well, it's a fascinating topic. Also a part of a new Frontline special on PBS, which debuts as we tape this, first week of September. And William, really appreciate you taking a few minutes. You have a website you want to give the folks a chance to either get the book or talk to you?
You can either go to Facebook and sign up for the Top Secret America page, or go to topsecretamerica.com and get further information from the Washington Post about our book, which is in the stores right now.
Great. William Arkin's been our guest, and thanks for joining us today. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you down the road.
Thank you very much for having me on.